Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we are specifically going to talk about the key item in a quest in your Dungeons and Dragons campaign and how important it is and how it be structured, and what the lesson we should learn is for creating the right narrative, the correct narrative around the key item in a quest, right? Now you're saying, wait, Scott, why do you keep saying key narrative in a quest? Well, what I really mean is a lot of people will use the term MacGuffin. It is a wrong word. It should not be used. But I'm getting off track here. Let me tell you what the focus of this video is. There is a lesson in Disney's live action film, Jungle Cruise, which is brilliant and is a perfect way to understand the key item in your quest, in the quests that are in the key item in your campaign quest in Dungeons and Dragons. And it's really next level brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant, and it really should be paid very close attention to. All right, so let's go ahead and talk this through. So yeah, it's really quite fascinating. So where do you land with this, right? So let's talk about the live action Disney cruise movie, live action Disney movie, Jungle Cruise, which is exactly like Pirates of the Caribbean. It is a live action Disney movie made to highlight the exciting parts, the cool narrative, the catalyst moments of Disney's rides, their theme park rides. So this is a movie based off of a theme park ride, and it has a brilliant, beautiful example of how to manage the key item in your Dungeons and Dragons campaign quest. So first of all, let's talk about the word MacGuffin. All right, MacGuffin is a new special kind of word. It's a viper word, okay? Basically, every time you hear the word MacGuffin, you should feel like fangs sinking into your hand. And you're like, whoa, did you just say MacGuffin? Right? Because you need to hear it very clearly. Every single person who uses the word MacGuffin specifically within a sentence, and they're using it for its traditional definition, not to warn you about it, is a fool. A ridiculous fool who you can ignore every word they say. You will encounter three types of people in life. You will encounter muggles. You will encounter fools, muggles, and philosopher kings, right? Gary Gygax was a philosopher king. Every word that came out of his mouth when he was alive, no one could ignore it, because the world was going to crack in half based on his actions, based on what he believed, based on what he decided to do. And he reshaped all of humanity, right? He completely redefined narrative. And he said, hey, I know, okay, and he's the only secular source in this world to have multiple lives, right? And he created the Hollow Ones, right? Hollow Ones, wait, isn't that a species in Dungeons and Dragons? It used to be. I think the best definition of Hollow Ones are people who live their lives in this IRL world without Dungeons and Dragons and end up leading one life and never having adventure and never being a hero and never living with 100 mouths, with 100 hearts, never sharing victory and triumph with people around a table. They live one life. Could you imagine, like, living one and only one life? It is truly astounding to even think of the sorrow that would bring. And what's truly sad is many of them don't even know it. They don't even know that, that there are people, Dungeons and Dragons players, who live 100 lives while they're on this earth, and they just get one. They just get one. And they are to be pitied and wept over every day for those of us who understand the joy of this IRL just being one of our lives, one of the sets of emotions we have, the sets of memories we have, the sets of sensations we have, right? Like, if there's if I have a sad day, I can stand on the harbor dock at, Waterdeep and watch the ships come in and out and watch a beautiful sunset and take a moment of peace and eat some mutton and sip from my mead. Like I'm not stuck in one world. And can you imagine the sorrow, hollow ones who are? It's truly sad making. So you have this situation, right? And it makes me brutally sad to just think of that. But let's talk. Okay, so basically every time you hear the word MacGuffin, what they're saying is they're like, oh, whatever the item is that the heroes need to get, who cares, right? No one who ever listened to a word Gary Gygax would ever use the word MacGuffin, right? And the reason why was the adventure is the thing, right? What we seek defines who we are. And no dungeon master ever sends somebody after something that doesn't matter, right? Now, how is this done in the way that Gary encouraged us to do it? How is this done correctly, right? How do we create a key item in our campaign that matters, right? That is worthy of every player character pursuing. Let's get into it, all right? Let's talk about it. Disney's Jungle Cruise shows it perfectly, right? In Jungle Cruise, 3 different people are pursuing the key item of the quest. That item is the Tears of the Moon, okay? A single petal from this flower called the Tears of the Moon can do 3 things, right? It can give power, incredible amount of power, right? Essentially, it has to do with it gives power over life and death, okay? It can give one person or many people power over their life and over their death, right? Essentially, it's like, think about the Fountain of Youth, right? It can make someone young, it can keep someone young, it can also advance age, right? So it can make age a dial, right? And it can make sure that you never age, it can make sure that you age quickly, it can change the structure of life itself, right? So 3 people in the movie are looking for the Tears of the Moon for 3 different reasons. The first 2 are fairly common in narrative, right? The scientist, played by Emily Blunt, wants to find the Tears of the Moon to use it within science and then elongate life for all of humanity, right? Or to allow people who might have some kind of an aging disease to be freed from that, right? And not only when this thing gives eternal youth, it fixes every single disease in the body, right? And it sets the human body to a perfect state. So she wants to use it to free people from disease. She wants to use it to free certain people from aging, right? She wants this thing to be used powerfully to aid humanity. The German royal, okay, this takes place in 1960, and this is a German royal, right? And it's played by Jesse Plemons. He wants it for power, right? Like, if he has this incredibly powerful item, he can make it so that only the people he wants to get eternal life can get eternal life. Only the people he wants to have a perfect body can have a perfect body, right? So he wants it for power. The scientist wants it to aid. The German royal, the villain, wants it for power. And then last, there's this truly neutral character, right? There's this character who has done terrible things in the past. He was a conquistador, right? And what he wants it for is he is now cursed with immortality, and he wants it to kill himself, right? To self-delete, right? He wants this thing so that he can die a natural death, right? He wants it so he can die, not so he can kill himself. I said that incorrectly. He wants this to be so that he can die. He wants it so he can die. The scientist wants it to aid. The German royal wants it for power, and the riverboat captain, who used to be a conquistador, the immortal riverboat captain, who is played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, he wants it to die, right? This is the correct positioning of a key item in a quest, right? 3 different people, good, neutral, and evil, could all want that item for different reasons, right? It's an incredibly beautiful, incredibly complex narrative mechanic, right? Narrative dial that can be turned. It's almost like a set of switches, a configuration that you can use, right? And this is what you want. You want to reject any fool who ever gets in front of you and uses the term MacGuffin, right? You never craft a story with a MacGuffin. You choose carefully an item which has facets and could be desired by the three alignments Gary carefully put into the game. And so every single one of your key items that are the center of your campaign, that are going to be pursued by the heroes, that are going to be pursued by the villains, and are going to be pursued by the neutrals, they should all want it for different reasons. And that means you cannot make it a MacGuffin. It cannot be a Maltese Falcon. It has to be real, it has to matter, and it has to be worth pursuing. And we, what is the word for us? We're not hollow ones, right? I don't even think there's a word for a dungeon master and a Dungeons and Dragons player yet to capture who and what we are. But we know what we seek defines who we are. Every single word of that is my humble opinion. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.